Good evening. It's August the 26th, and I'd like to call the Hollister School District Board of Trustees meeting to order, and we'll start with roll call vote. Trustee Toasty?
Here.
Trustee Rios?
Here.
Trustee Martinez? Not present. Trustee Grist?
Here.
And I am present as well. We expect Trustee Martinez shortly. And do we have any public comments for closed session?
No.
I don't see anywhere. Okay, so with that, it is 5:01, and we will convene to close session. call the meeting back to order. Would everybody please rise for the flag salute? Ready, salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This evening we have community and staff recognition, and we're going to start first with our migrant education program staff recognition.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Sanchez. I thank you for allowing me this time to recognize a very important group of people in the Hollister School District. These are folks that connect with so many families and students in our district that they are instrumental to the progress of our students. And I just have a little memento. So as you may know, this group is called upon this year to be flexible, and as much as they are pivotal in our students' futures. So I've got them a little memento. It is a multi-use tool so that they can measure, they can balance, and they can even screw things on and off. So I'd like to recognize these folks. Please come up. Did you want to step down and shake hands?
We're a little slow on
Again, I just want to say thank you for all the work that you do. This is a certificate of gratitude to Maria Duarte. She's our tutor. Alejandra Laguna. Alejandra is our preschool and parent ed minor staff. Next I have Emma Herrera. Emma is a person, but Emma supports 4 school districts, or 4 schools in our district. So she is a very busy lady, and we appreciate all that she does.
Thank you for everything.
Next I have Elena Lopez Castillo. She has Calaveras. Next I have Anna Jimenez. She's from Mays, supports Mays Middle School. Gretel. Thank you so much for all that you do. Gretel is at R.O. Hardin.
Yay!
Huskies in the house.
Huskies.
And Antonio Rios. Thank you for everything. Antonia is at Rancho San Justo. Next we have Eduardo Lizama. We have at the MRC Leonor Rojas. She is our support secretary. And then next we have the person driving all of it, Jill I think it's the power of a team when we're faced with adversity and last minute changes. This team has come together and locked arms, and we definitely have a plan. We've assured together we're better, and I appreciate everything that you guys do. Thank you so much.
Okay. we stay down here? And we have library media specialist recognition.
Perfect.
Library media. Who's doing the presentation?
Yes.
Right. Shifting seats. We next are going to go to a group of ladies that are exhausted, so we're going to get them out of here as quickly as possible. These ladies had the daunting tasks of 2 curriculums drop at their school sites, disseminate all of the workbooks and the TEs and the counting and the extra. I have 80 new TKs. I think Stephanie is here. So I just want to recognize the hard work. These ladies, they stepped up, they made it happen, and I just appreciate everything that you did so that students can have what they need and teachers can have what they need when we have it. There was some ordering issues, so it's not ended yet, but I do have one more box for you to open. Hopefully it'll help. All right. First, from Calaveras and AAA, Rachel Nunez. Michelle, sorry. Thank you so much. There you go.
That's a lot of curriculum
Yes.
to deal with.
Yes, I saw those balloons. It was big.
From Sarah Vista, Lisa Owen. Yep. All right, from HGLA, we have Lisa Renzoni. I get to deliver that gift to her. From Lad Lane, Alicia Zamora. These, along with our liaisons, these people know every single student and staff member on campus, and that is such a gift. Sheila Gonzalez from Maine. From R.O. Hardin, Mary Christian. All your help. All right, from Rancho San Justo, Esmeralda.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
All right, Rancho Santana, Lily Yamasaki. And from Sunny Slope, Stephanie Aguilar. Some schools had 6 or more pallets of books to unpack. It was just an amazing feat. These ladies did it with grace. We really appreciate it. Thank you, and we'll be more mindful next time. Wonderful group of ladies. Thank you so much. Back to my thing of treats. Okay, this next group, I'm already starting. I just want to say thank you for this next group of people that are here no matter what. It was a small group and we keep growing, and everybody that comes into the fold steps up and is here 100% for all of our teachers and our students. And I can't see being at work without you. Annabelle Alvarez. Leonor Rojas. Newest conference. They're 4+, so we're gonna have some department meetings. All right, Jill Cameron. Yeah, I don't know. No workers' comp.
No workers' comp.
Jill's in charge of ELOP, migrant foster youth homeless. So many special populations, special populations. Really appreciate the work that she does with Jennifer and our liaisons. Thank you, Jill. Next is a popular among our teaching staff, Emma Beltry. Oh, geez. Don't do damage.
Oh my God.
Emma's in charge of Avid, PGIS, new teacher onboarding, and everything else PD related. She's induction. She's got a lot on her plate. She does it with grace. All right, next we have Stacy Venera. Great addition to the team. And then someone who's been with me since I came to Ed Services. We look back and we're not sure how we did it, but we did it, and I just appreciate you, Jennifer Miller.
We're double.
Again, we, Ed Services strives to address the needs of all students and teachers. We try really hard. We appreciate the feedback. We appreciate, areas where we can grow, and we welcome that. We're here truly for teachers and students, and this team that we have here is just one that I've never worked for, minus the dream team at Sierra Vista in 2004, but this team is so amazing. I just truly appreciate you ladies. Thank you so much. Don't get sick, Mrs. Okay, maybe go see the eye doctor. All right, thank you guys so much.
We have, we're on agenda item number 8. We have one closed session announcement. The board took action by unanimous vote of all trustees present to approve the district's response to the 24 to 25 San Benito County Civil Grand Jury Consolidated Report. We'll move on now to agenda number 9. Before we approve the agenda, we need to make do we need to make a motion to, for the amendment? No. Okay. We need to, let you know that we made an amendment to accept an edited version of the personnel report, and I believe Cheryl has something to change.
Yes, I'd like to pull a few. I'd like to pull a few items. I'd like to pull a few items. I would like to make some comments about, and those would be item F, G, H, I, J, K. Wait. M, O, P, and Q.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda with these exceptions in the consent items?
I make the motion that we accept the agenda with those changes. Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Trustee Toasty.
Aye.
Trustee Rios.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Grist. Aye. And I'm an aye as well. Motion carries. We're moving into section 10 on our agenda, which is the public comment section, which will be managed by our board clerk, which is Trustee Grist.
I have one from Mr. Christian, and that would be HESTA President's Report. Is that Chris? I'm not saying it.
Cristobal.
Cristobal.
So I just wanted to talk to you, and first off, I just want to start, I'm sorry, I'm Ethan Cristobal, I'm the HESTA president. I'm also a third grade teacher at R.O. Hardin. I wanted to thank Trustee Rios for meeting with us. This summer, we got to have a nice conversation with Trustee Rios and just talking about the vision for the district and moving forward and how we could work together and just the concerns that we both see. I want to thank Trustee Grist. We just had trouble connecting, our schedules were just so crazy, but we look forward to, once the school year kind of like settles down to the beginning, being able to talk to you and the rest of the board members as well. We'd love to meet with you and just discuss what the vision is for the district, what we see. We want to hear your ideas and your thoughts, because the only way we can move forward is having a conversation. And that's the email I shared with you. I was just really sad to hear that you didn't want HESTA to have an ongoing spot on the agenda where we were able to have a conversation with you. I really hate having to only talk to you in public comment, where you can't ask me questions, we can't have an ongoing conversation. It's one-sided, and I just hate that feeling. And the comments that were in there about it being inefficient, I don't see what's inefficient about clearing up ideas between us, the workers, and you, the board, who makes decisions. I want us to be on the same page. That's my hope. And I really want to have that conversation where we can ask each other questions and I can hear what you have to say about the ideas we're presenting and learn what I don't know and share with you what you may not see that we see every day in the classroom. I've heard a lot of talk about teacher input in the district. Since I've been here, we need to have more teacher input. We want to hear what the teachers have to think, what they have to say. We have a unique perspective. We're the boots on the ground. And we really want to have a conversation where we can tell you directly what's going on in our eyes, our concerns for the district moving forward, and how we can best affect our students. So I'm hoping you'll reconsider and give HESTA an ongoing place on the agenda, just so that we can have those conversations about the important things that we see. Thank you.
No, I'm sorry, I have no more public comments. We have comments in Article 15.
Okay, thank you very much. That closes our public comment section. Moving on to item 11 on the agenda, which is reports. The first report we have is our back to school report. Dr. Myers is on her way.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so we're back to school, in case you hadn't heard, and we have over 6,000 students attending and thriving. It's I'm now dubbing Hollister School District the biggest, smallest district in California. So we are just growing and growing. We started off this journey this year with an amazing group of 42 new certificated staff members. There are some of them, most of them there. We did our annual bus trip again, and it was so well received. Everybody loved it. Emma had her microphone like Britney Spears on. It was so amazing. We had schools out there. We had mascots welcoming. We had dance parties. We had cookies. It was amazing. So this year, 25-26 brings us 42 new certificated staff members. All in all, we have 52 in induction. So if Emma needs to go home and go to sleep, then that's why. 52 teachers in induction, 24 interns, 9 short-term staff, and 4 long-term subs. So, as you know, Emma is the queen of Nest. Nest is going to be very busy this year, and this just goes to show that that program is working. So we had so many teachers that stayed as short-term staff, went into programs, and now we have interns, and so they're in a program and they're gonna grow into induction, so it's working. And I really appreciate Emma for bringing this to Hollister School District, because now I finally feel assured that we've got a good program for staff members. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you, Nest teachers.
Yes, thank you, Nest teachers, for stepping up. So we had new magician onboarding on August 1st, and this was at the district office. We had over 20-some people attend, with a packed new agenda with all departments presenting and just getting that information in a short bit of time to our friends. So I wanted just to kind of show you, we had a panel with Hesta and some other folks that was truly appreciated. The feedback was very positive about that with the new teachers. Here's a little sample of some swag that was being handed out at Rancho San Justo. This is a really great recruitment opportunity. The site admin get on the bus and they're like, hey, come work for us. Lilia's really good at that. She's here today. But then we had, like I said, every department, they get their Chromebooks, so they get their tech, they walk through how to do very important things at the district level. It's a long day packed with lots of stuff, but it is really great. And there's Emma there presenting, guiding this group along throughout the day. So here's some welcome committees. Lad Lane was out there waving for the bus. Here's Joe. He has the notorious cookies now, so he's got a reputation to live up to. We have Maze out there welcoming, and there's Lilia's dance party that she had music going. It was a lot of fun. And I couldn't get the video on here, but HDLA had their mascot out there and banners, and it was really fun and engaging. Such a welcoming vibe for our new staff. And the feedback really showed that. Here's what was most helpful: the school tours, of course, knowing where their schools were, getting my tech and what I needed to do to get my paycheck. That's always important. And the panel of teachers was appreciated, department information presentations, who to go to for different needs, and everything was great. So those were some things that were helpful. Notable quotes: I had a lot of fun. Thank you, you rock. Overall, this one was a fabulous quote. Overall, it was great, a great orientation. I especially loved the bus tour and how the admin and office staff interacted with the participants. It felt special and personalized, which highlights the strong sense of community we have at HSD. So that hit it right on the head. So I think those are really good things that happened on the 1st. And then we rested up. And we came back for Monday, August 4th, at Rancho San Justo. We had our district-wide Magic Day, and it was all hands on deck. We just filled Rancho San Justo with magic makers, and it was such a great day. We had this little dance party in front of the food. We had classroom learning time with our grade levels and subject matters. We had reunions with hugs and celebrations. And then the reviews came in just far beyond our expectations. How teachers felt prepared to teach Benchmark Advanced. 81% said that they feel prepared to teach Benchmark Advanced Enhanced. And then 81.18 prepared to teach Eureka Math Squared. And then down there, there's that little graph that it kind of cut off the topic, but the blue is extremely relevant and red is relevant and helpful. So please rate your sessions, and those are for Eureka Squared on the left and Benchmark on the right. And we did this for every session that we had, and they were really well received. And so we took it as a win, and we appreciate that feedback. And we didn't hit it out of the park for everybody, but we have something which is great to work towards next time. Some notable quotes: thank you for feeding us. Food is always a great thing. This was the most relevant training we had in a long time. That was amazing to hear. I appreciate the new curriculum that is bridging the gap between SPED and general ed. That is an intentional focus for us this year. More and more you're going to see that bridging between general ed and SPED, using the Benchmark and Zern curriculums. And then this might have been the same person, I'm not sure, but this really does hit it on the head. I appreciate all the privileges and professional development training our school sites and district has offered. It gives me the confidence to teach, makes teaching and learning engaging to students, and I am happy and proud to be HSD. I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm happy and proud to be here too. So it was a success. We do have some things that we want to take for next time, and we'll be moving on to following up with our PD cycles instead of one-off sessions, making it more intentional, adding technology integration. We know that AI is looming out there. What are we going to do about it? Enhancing engagement strategies. Emma can't sit down quite yet. She's got AVID at classroom management, motivational speakers, those things, prioritizing math, writing, and reading, and OG trainings, reviewing newcomer and ELD programs, support gaps, and plan for curriculum alignment in the next adoption, which is coming around the corner, and streamline safety PD to avoid redundancy. So those are some feedback things that we took, and we'll be looking to implement soon. And then, as if Emma didn't have enough to do, she's like, I think I'm gonna do a website. I'm like, go girl. So there she went. She went and created this wonderful website. It is, if you log in with your Chromebook, it's up in the upper left-hand corner, right there. It has all of our PD and learning and everything there. The site's address is there if you are not finding it on your Chromebook, but it's embedded in that upper left-hand corner under HSD links. Amazing. It's an abyss of resources. So if you have a question, you might want to check there. We always like to hit the questions ourselves too, so don't be shy. But thank you, Emma, for that. That's going to be an amazing thing. So she does a monthly send out to teachers, like this month, let's look for this and let's do this, and an AVID tip, and then a PBIS little notation, and PD offerings and whatnot. So much to offer. Making magic happen since 1872, we are. I'm just really goofy today, sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's take a look at some magic makers. Here we have Maze. We have, I can't see if that's Cal, AAA. We have HDLA. This is on August 4th. Everybody wore most everybody wore their swag and got together. It was just such a positive vibe. There we have Lad Lane, which is the green, and there's Sarah Vista. More magic makers. Here we have our Rancho Santana Wildcats, our Oro Hardin Huskies, and then we have Rancho San Justo Broncos, and last but not least, our Tigers at Sunny Slope. So really appreciate everybody that pulled together to pull this off on August 4th. It was everything from the nutrition department to the district administration to secretarial support. It was all hands on deck. Special Ed made an appearance, and they got really good reviews from their sessions. But really, let's go back to our purpose, food. Thank you so much, everyone, for supporting. Just to review the educational services, we work together to provide this along with special education. It's a group effort, and we couldn't do it if HR wasn't sending us people to train, and so thank you, HR. And last but certainly not least, our superintendent, deputy superintendent Erica Sanchez and Kip Ward, thank you so much for inspiring a cabinet that is productive and positive, along with Ms. Wilson and Aaron Bazetta and Brandon Johnson. It's all, and Gabe, thank you guys so much. Patty, thank you for coming to a great team. You're a great fit too. All right, I think that's it. There you go. Thank you.
Alrighty, next up we have a report from, is it Jill for the migrant program?
Okay, good evening, Board of Trustees and Superintendent Sanchez. Thank you for having me here tonight. I want to report out on our migrant education. We're going to review a little bit what we done last year and moving into the new school year. So a little bit about us. We do have quite the staff that work together to bring us our migrant education program. We have the coordinator, we have a secretary, recruiter, a preschool instructor, an instructional aide, and 6 site liaisons. So again, I'm reflecting back on last year's, and as we mentioned earlier in our earlier when Dr. Myers was up here, acknowledging that a lot of our folks are doing a lot of different things right now. So some of our numbers over the past 3 years, you can see back in 2022-23, we had 611 migrant students, and we've been able to increase a little bit each year. 23-24, we had 633, and then last year we ended with 677. So also noting that some of our students kind of ebb and flow throughout the year. As we well know, they go to different places.
Is the increase due to our increase in enrollment or increase because of better identification?
That's a good question. Maybe it's a little of both. I don't know if I can answer with certainty on that. I know our recruiter, Maria Duarte, can probably give us a little bit more insight on that, but I know that that is her full-time position, and she does that day in and day out. And we did do a lot of work on reaching out last year to all of our families to increase our enrollment.
Kim says it could be the crops too.
So last year in 24-25, some of the things that we did in our migrant program, we have 6 parent advisory council meetings throughout the school year, and we have guest speakers who present to our families at those meetings. So we brought in San Benito County Oral Health, who did a presentation on dental care, did some screenings for the students, and we did fluoride treatments and dental kits as well. We had the food bank who did a presentation and did food boxes during the winter time, right before Christmas break. We had health education, where we brought in a presenter who spoke about the opioid crisis and Narcan, how do we protect some of our families that face uncertainties with drug use, medication, and home safety. In August, we provide school supplies. Maria Duarte works really closely with an organization called The Giving Tree, who's very generous with school supplies at the beginning of the school year, and also a holiday giving program. During our preschool, we have 2 sessions a day, Monday through Thursday. In December through May, we had computer coding for our interventions, where we employed 17 teachers after school, and we had over 150 students who attended those interventions after school. And then each of those teachers had an open house at the end of the program to invite parents in to see all the great projects and all the different codings that each of the grade levels did. And then in December, we had the gift giving with the Giving Tree through Maria that I mentioned, and they gave us over 150 gifts that we gave out to all of our families. And then in March, we did have a STEAM night. So that was a really great night. It was actually the day before the county office STEAM fair, and we didn't plan that on purpose, it just kind of happened that way. So we are planning that for this next year. And we had families who attended, and we had a workshop where we had swimming lessons that were gonna be happening starting in May. We gave out backpacks for those students, so it was really a great night, and it was amazing that 70 families came because it was pouring rain that night too. So it was really, and one of the first events that we had at the Resource Center as well. So I mentioned earlier about swimming. That was something new that we brought to our migrant students this year. Great timing with the YMCA and working over at the high school using their pool. So we've had over 160 students signed up, and we have started lessons in May. We started a little bit on the smaller side with students, and then we upped them every month because then kids were out of school. More students wanted to have swim lessons, and so we're taking them all the way through September. So we'll have over 160 students that have experienced at least one round of swim lessons. So with the swim lessons, they got 2 lessons a week, and for 4 weeks, so they got 8 lessons. We had our summer coding camps where we had 2 instructors. We ran them out of our new resource center, and we had 3 weeks where we had 1 week of 4 days each of our different camps. And so we had over 45 students come to our camps. And then we also had Maria Duarte, who partnered up with the oral health program with the county along with the YMCA and did health services. And then we have our Migrant Resource Center. We are so excited and proud of how this came together. And I just want to give a big shout out to Erin Mazzetta. Thank you so much for working with us and really turning around that building, which if and when we do have our little ribbon cutting, it really is a great resource place now. I mean, we painted the building, new carpets in the classrooms. We have a great office, a nice welcoming office for our families to come in and our staff to work in. We have a great storage room so we can see everything that we have. Easy for liaisons to come over and get what they need for students and parents. And we have 2 great classrooms that we're already starting to use for summer workshops, camps, meetings. It's really a great place. And some of these pictures here that I put up, those are on our windows for the Resource Center. So really a really nice inviting place for everybody. So last year, we spent a lot of time just looking at how do we continue to reach out to our parents, increase that communication with our families. And so we did a revamp, no stone unturned. So we looked at websites and made sure all of our staff was on our websites. Any upcoming services, we've got flyers up, new information on our websites. We have an online qualification form, so we talked about recruiting. How do we just get that messaging out in paper form, electronic form, phone calls, workshops? So we've tried to really flood that out there with everybody. Resources regarding college resources with, why am I blanking? Sorry about that. We also have a calendar with all of our upcoming events. Parent Square, we did a lot of work with how do we message out in Parent Square. Just again, all the things that we offer, along with preschools. That was one of the new elements that we had added to our website was information regarding preschool. Recruiter tools, just mentioned our online form. Maria and I worked really closely on developing a new brochure, some tabletop information and banners that she can use when she goes to events to do her tabling, how to get that messaging out there. So we really tried to come together and just kind of broaden our reach of our families, and so everybody understands how they can qualify and be part of our migrant program. So looking back, we came together back in April and we had shared out a survey that we'd sent out to our families. So we wanted to get some of their feedback. And we had over 80 families who responded to our survey. 50% of them were aware of the migrant services. So we wanted to ask, like, even though we've been doing all this messaging, do you really understand what migrant does or offers for our families? So it was about half and half. They're like, no, we're not really quite sure. Academic needs, that was another question. Reading, writing, and math are at the top that parents wanted support in. some other support needs, school supplies, and water safety. And service needs before, after, and summer school programs. And then we wanted them to rate us, out of 5 stars. 77% of families rated us 5 out of 5, and another 18 rated us 4 out of 5. So we were pretty happy with that, but it was great information, again, on continuing to move forward. How do we improve on some of the things that we'd already been changing, and how do we continue to just ramp that up as we go along. So for the upcoming school year, we ended last year's budget with a little over $771,000. So we had received, about halfway through the school year, we had received that extra 77, which brought us to our 771. And I think we spent almost all of that money. I'm very proud to say that all of our services, and we really did a great job. The team was great at really that outreach and services that we provided to our students and families. Going into this new school year, a budget was approved back in May for almost $695,000. And then we left the school year with that uncertainty, and we're gonna have our program continuing for this school year. So we were kind of unsure. We did receive, a couple weeks ago, a letter from CDE with the reduction of a 5.6%, which brings us down to a little over $655,000 for the school year. We've had the letter, but we're still waiting for that grant award notification. So we're kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern. So we do have a plan. We have services that we want to do. Like I said, we left the year with our district service agreement in place. We're ready to pull that trigger as soon as we get the final "you have your money." But we just can't offer positions for interventions. We have continued to offer swim lessons. So there's a few things that we've continued to do with the district support to keep some of those services out there for their students. So we have swim lessons, we have our PAC meetings scheduled, we have one for next month. So we are in a little bit of a holding pattern for obviously the bigger items that we would like to do. But we're ready to go when we get that award notification. So we are currently on hold also with our preschool program. So I have to say that our instructor, Alejandra, she was up here earlier, she is now pivoting and creating parent workshops. And so she's ready to go next Friday. She already has Miss Jennifer Crusetta coming in and doing the presentation on oral health. She's got a literacy component that she's weaving into those workshops. And really the crux of it is looking at the age group of 3 to 5 year olds and how do we get them ready to come into school. So we have a few things that we're trying to get those parents in for. How to get your kids ready, and how do we support them with literacy. So I do appreciate her pivot, and I know she was highly disappointed in not being able to start on day 1 with her program with preschool, but I do appreciate her flexibility and pivoting in the moment, and we'll see where preschool lands down the road here. Our recruitment continues, so Mrs. Maria Duarte, she does a great job. She's been doing her job for many years, and we had just sent out a couple weeks ago a parent square to all of our families to remind them that we're still here and you may qualify, so please reach out. And we had over 30 families fill out the online form to qualify. Some of them already do qualify and they're already in the program, but that just means they're reading the post, so I was happy about that. And then again, we have our first PAC meeting next week, or excuse me, in a couple weeks in September. But that's kind of our overview.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yes.
I didn't see your summer count for this last summer in your presentation. Could you let us know how your summer services, how that's going, your A2, because just as the A1 is important, A2 is just as critical. And so that outreach, I know services are limited, right, to what a supplemental program can do when a district is providing a lot, but so I'm not sure how our counts look compared to other years for summer.
Okay, I can definitely bring that back, or
Any other questions? No? Okay, thank you. Great job,
Awesome.
everybody.
Awesome.
Okay, we're moving to agenda item number 12, which is our superintendent's report for August.
Okay, good evening, Board of Trustees, community members, staff that are present. Today we will be talking briefly about what the district has been working on, what our staff has been working on as we start the school year. So we'll move forward. There listed is our district mission and vision, both that directly tie to our district, but also to the students that are involved that come onto our campuses each and every day. Tonight we have back to school nights at a couple of our school sites, two of which being the middle schools. I had the opportunity to go to Rancho San Justo as their staff thoroughly engaged with their students and the students engaged with the staff. I thought that it was very well thought out, it was very well planned, it was very inspirational, and kudos to the Rancho San Justo staff for putting such a positive beginning of the year rally together for their students. Moving on. Our enrollment, it varies. We have AAA at 125, and we have our largest school set at 845. Overall, you can see that there's a wide span in the different enrollments at the different school sites. In all, the district has increased in enrollment, and that is good. There's about 3 districts in all that have increased in enrollment. Most school districts are declining in enrollment. We are very fortunate in the state of California to not have that issue. So we are very, very fortunate in our district. Some enrollment highlights. Again, our enrollment has increased. With that, we've added classrooms. We've added staff that work in the classrooms. We've added different things that are associated with the increasing enrollment. For example, Sunny Slope has become the TK hub. They have 7 TK new classrooms. I tell Mr. Rivas, this is his little army running right behind him. They are so sweet. The staff has done an absolute thorough job in preparing for this large influx of little ones as they come onto the campuses. We've also added a need-based classroom at Ladd Lane. Students that have specific needs in their IEPs or that could be considered medically fragile. This is the first time that our district has done that. It is to benefit the students. We've added staff. We've added a certificated nurse. I believe we are up to 5 nurses in the district, which is unheard of for a district our size. That, again, we're looking at the needs of the students. We're looking at what the needs of our staffing limitations are, or what would benefit our staff. And so we've added that. We've also added an art teacher that will work. And with that, as we look at all the different noise, right, that is out there in the world today, as it involves financial aspects of education, whether or not we will receive specific pots of money, internally here at the district, we are looking at what benefits the students of our community, but also what benefits our staff. So would we like to keep a contract in place with a wonderful organization, or would we like to hire staff? We always lean towards the side of hiring staff when the staff are available. So we added an art teacher. We also, on the classified staff, have looked at Sunny Slope growing exponentially. We added a campus monitor. We added custodians at 2 different spots in the district, and we've also added instructional assistants to support the increase of enrollment throughout the district. Okay, moving on, please. We had the new teacher orientation that Dr. Myers has explained. I think one of the greatest assets that we have are our staff. That includes all staff. In this case, we had the ability to interact, as I would loosely say, pick the brains of those staff that are in the classrooms so that they can share the experiences that they have with the newer staff that were in the building. We also had experienced administrators leading the day that allowed new staff to feel supported. As I have gone out to the different sites and I've interacted with some of the new staff that have been hired this year, I have thoroughly thought, if I had a video camera, I'd make a commercial of this, because some of the feedback that I've gotten is I do feel supported. I really feel supported by folks that were present, but also by fellow folks that are at the school sites. So it takes everyone to build that community within our district. Moving on, please. Stuff the bus. So in early August, we had staff here in this room, and some are not in the room, but give up a Saturday. Invest a Saturday in the community where over 580, so 582 to be specific, almost 600 students that are enrolled in our schools benefited from coming with their families to receive a backpack full of school supplies. Every year this takes place. Every year we improve on our enrollment for the participation of this program. But most of all, I would like to say thank you very much to everyone that participated, because I understand it's an investment of time away from your personal lives, but you actually definitely make a difference for our students, because then they can go to the first day of school prepared. So thank you so much for that. Moving on, we had professional development, as Dr. Myers explained. I had the opportunity to be present and see and interact and peek into some of the sessions. There was learning, there was great conversations going on, and I really appreciated the effort that that was put in place right after Stuff the Bus. Ed Services took off to Rancho, and I thought, where are they gonna go? You know, aren't you gonna go home and rest? No, they kept on going. That was a Saturday, and they were right off the heels of the Friday new teacher orientation to prepare for that Monday for the August 4th. So it was probably a good 72 hours, 96 hours of like nonstop effort, and I appreciate that. So thank you. Moving on, more pictures here from the August 4th PD. And going forward here. What we have not showcased and talked about is the Classified Boost program. This is a new program that we have come to an agreement with our classified bargaining unit. On the certificated end, we have a highly successful program called NEST, where veteran teachers work to check in. They serve as a mentor. They check in with Emma Veltri, and it's a very beneficial and positive program. On the other side of the coin, we are looking at how do we support our classified staff. For the very first time in our district, and this has been a long time dream of mine, to support the classified staff and the certificated staff through a program such as these, is to create an initiative that supports new classified staff. For this particular year, we are going to be focusing in on new paras and new instructional assistants, and pairing them with veteran paras and instructional assistants to support them as they transition to becoming more experienced. They will also be working with Ed Services and special education as they go throughout the year. We'll be gathering data on overall job satisfaction. How do we enhance that? How do we allow for staff to feel like they are supported? The ultimate dream, if I had a magic wand, going with the theme of magic, is that we get to expand this program to all the classified ranks, and we involve other departments to support other essential, because everyone is essential, job classification. So we're moving forward with that. It's called the Boost program. We have student programs in place that are starting or have started through the middle school athletics season 1. We have the expanded learning opportunities ELOP program that's going on as well. All of this in support of students and helping them feel connected, giving them safe spaces to be here present at school, before school or after school. Our communication, as we head into the end of August, we have the ability to contact 99% of our families. This was live data when this presentation was posted on Friday via Parent Square. So as you can see, the numbers are pretty high there in regards to families or guardians that we can connect with or interact with. Every communication is time-stamped. We can see when families open up their communications. We can see who's not getting the communications. We can see who potentially is that 1% that we need to reach out to and try to achieve that moving target of always being in contact with families. In progress highlights, there's so many, but I whittled them down to this. We, or the team, the board, is working on a board goal development that will drive what we do this school year for the school district. We are also working at, as a team, to look at multi-year planning. What that means is that in the state of California, we receive funds that expire. Some of them are not eternal. However, when we fund positions with expiring funds, we need to figure out how best to approach that. And one pot of money that's big but will expire in a couple of years is the community schools grant funding. So how do we continue the good work that we're doing in our district? As a team, we're already talking about that. Even though it's 2 and 3 years out for specific pots of money, we're already looking at that. We need to look at this year, but we need to look beyond this year as well. We are looking at labor negotiations. We would like to offer our staff for both classified and for certificated fair compensation. We want to look at working conditions. We want to look at the different aspects of labor negotiations that interest our unions. We will be negotiating this month with our classified unit, and then later on in a couple of weeks, we'll be negotiating with the certificated unit. And later on in the agenda, we'll see the sunshine proposals that the board will have to acknowledge and consider. We're also looking to launch Verkada, a safety feature at our school sites where folks that come in to visit will need to present or check in with an ID so that we ensure that everyone that comes onto campus is a safe person, that there's not a red flag there, that there's not an issue. We want to ensure staff and student safety at all times. We're working on launching this. This is the program that we also see at the high school, and that goes along with the school district working closely with the high school, the district being a feeder to the high school, and trying to implement some of the same type of strategies there. We're working on a big project called the Facilities Master Plan. We're looking at how we are utilizing our facilities, whether they're efficiently being used or not efficiently being used. For example, at School X, how many classrooms are being used for instruction? Are there maybe is there one maybe being used for non-instruction? What can we do with that one classroom? But this is multiplied by the 10 schools, the 9 school sites, and we anticipate that this will be ready in a few months. We're working with a consultant to look at what does the district need to do to prepare for increasing enrollment. We are increasing, which means that we will need to look at facilities differently and or potentially add to our facilities. And that goes with funding. Where does the funding come from? And so on. So it's all connected. We're looking at safety threat assessments. How do we prepare for that? District administrators, site administrators participated in a county-wide training, I believe in early August, late July. We'll be implementing more of these trainings here at the district office for site administrators and their teams to take back to their school sites. Safety is a concern. We would like to ensure that the skills that we use are never, utilized, but we don't want to be hopeful when we can be smart and be educated. We are also continuing our focus on PBIS and MTSS. This is a big focus for us. We want to look at the whole child. We want to look at the academics, but also their social well-being. Also, what is it that we as a district can do to support the student and the family to succeed within their time here at the Hollister School District. All of that is completed because of everybody's contribution. It takes the whole team. It takes our classified staff, it takes our certificated staff, it takes our administrators, it takes the board to complete this monumental task. The difference that we make in students' lives is life-changing if we think about it. We have them for many years in our district, and the choices that we make impact them, and we can't do it without everybody's contribution. So I want to thank the staff, I want to thank the board for their vision and for their direction that you have provided so that we can move forward with these initiatives. And I know that this is going to be a great year because we're all here for the students. So thank you. Any questions?
That was great.
Thank you.
Right on the money.
Great job. Alrighty, let's move on now to consent items.
I make a motion that we approve A, B, C, D, E, L, and N.
Do I have
M-N-O-E.
No, those are all pulled for discussion. Be pulled F, G, H, I, J, K, M, O, P, Q. Yes.
So do I have a
I
second?
second that.
Okay, roll call vote, trustee Toasty,
Aye.
trustee Rios,
Aye.
trustee Martinez,
Aye.
trustee Gris,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. Now we don't have the
Yes.
discussion time. Okay, go ahead, Cheryl Rios. Would you like to start with F?
Well, I actually would like to cluster
Okay,
all of the ones that I pulled with the exception of M for right now. So these are contracts for, special ed books of various kinds. And I'm holding true to what I used to do before I took a seat up here. I would come and make a public comment about situations like this. Our consent agenda is supposed to be usual and customary. We don't need a lot of discussion about that. This month in particular, I really find it anything but customary. I applaud our district for its efforts in going out and recruiting people, maintaining those that we have had, and I also applaud them for being obviously very diligent in seeking out these private contracts. Because we need people, and we, like all of the districts across the country, we have a hard time finding teachers, particularly special ed folks, and especially our speech and language pathologists. But I pulled these just to bring a public recognition as to what these are. So when I went through these particular contracts tonight, we are being asked to approve $2,206,970 in salaries just for these 9 contracts, which are for 16 people. We don't have, I know that we don't have any choice in the matter. I just am bringing this, I don't see this as usual and customary. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is that maybe this should have been an agenda item just for discussion. So the 2.2 million tonight is in addition to 766,640 private contracts that were approved by us in July, for a total for this school year of $2,973,610. And it's just a fact. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying we shouldn't be doing it, but what I am thinking is that all of the powers that be, and we've got great minds in this district, we need to figure out how to work together to see if we can get district hired employees, because they are better for our students. exception here. They stay year to year. The contract people, some of them we've had for years, and they're just like family. And I acknowledge that, and I've worked with some very, very amazing contract people. But I just think that this should not be hidden in the consent agenda. So it's not
Okay, any discussion from any board members in response to this?
I think that, you know, we've talked about this a lot before, and this is not a new subject. And, we can't get people, we're trying to address it, in other ways, and we just have to keep trying to address it. We can't get people. And in my point of view, and Cheryl spoke about it, it's not good for the kids, it's not good for the staff, and it's not good for our parents and community to have these contract workers. But bottom line is our children need the service. And if we don't provide the service, then they're really losing. So we're, you know, we don't have a choice here. We need bodies, and they're not here. And so that's the, and you can talk to any district, anywhere, in any state, and they're gonna tell you the same thing. This is not new news. And so when we say, I heard when she gave you the number, this is what it's at. You know, and I'm sorry, but that's reality. And until we get people that wanna go into special education, which is not an easy job, those of you that are SPED teachers, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. And those of you that are gen ed teachers, you know what your compadres go up with every single day. It's a hard job. So we need to change the way that we do business. We need to change the way we look at things. And we're counting on, you know, our partners here to work with us. Maybe we can make some changes. But this is reality. And, you know, that's the way it is. And so that we can ooh and ah, but until we can get people that want to go into teaching, it's going to be like this for a while.
And these are not just bodies.
Right.
These are specialized positions. Specialized. That's why the amount, the income that they receive to come to our district, who we have to hire, we pay them a great amount, a very large amount, because we do not have anyone coming in for these jobs. These are specialized, these are not, you know, just bodies.
Yeah.
So I would like for, when these things are brought up, to include that we have posted, and we are trying to get these positions. So I think that needs to be the forefront, not just, we're just paying for these subs.
I know that our HR department is doing the best they can. But in Cheryl's defense, the public needs to know this. And that's why it should be a public, because it's affecting all of us.
Trustee Martinez, go ahead, Trustee Rios.
And one of the reasons I wanted to bring this up is, this is a particular dollar amount. And so when the board and the district need to make budgetary decisions, there might be some things we don't approve because we have these extra expenses here. Now, if we were to hire our own 16 people, I don't know what it would be, but I am pretty darn sure it's not gonna be $3 million.
And they'll be better people
and
because
they will
they'll be tied to our kids.
Right, and we train them.
Right.
We get to know them. We develop a history with them.
Trustee Martinez?
I think both ladies pretty much said it all. I think working on the union labor side, we all worked on that side. I work on the CSEA labor side in my district, so I know completely what it means to bring in contract people instead of having your own. But when you don't have a choice, and we're left with this, yes, we're going to pay. But it isn't to, I think, hide anything or create any distrust, because that isn't the purpose. I don't think either from Cheryl to bring it up, for you guys to feel like you can't trust the district, because the objective is we need these people. And unless you know somebody that can do these jobs and you can bring them in and recruit them for us, that would be great. But again, this is gonna take money to provide these students with these services that are mandated by their IEP. That isn't a choice. We either pay this or we pay in lawsuits. And that's what, so far, we've been out of for many different reasons, but it's because of these services that are being rendered by these individuals that we have kept to our students' needs.
Well, we have a director here that makes sure that we have the people, and that's why we're okay. I mean, let's face facts. If we didn't have somebody in Dr. Harris's role, making sure that we're covering each individual IEP, we'd be in trouble. And we would be paying lawsuits. So, yeah.
It is shocking and it is unfortunate, but you know, our objective, I think, will always be is to have people in-house. And I think that has been, you know, what Superintendent Sanchez said, even, you know, with the growth that we've had to hire people.
Yep.
And that internally is the objective, is to hire these people, and it's cheaper for us if we can find them and hire them ourselves, just like it is to do anything else.
Oh, we want them on our team.
Yeah, so everybody is important and everyone is valued, but these costs are real, just like everything else that we have to spend on, right? The reality is we just wanted you to be aware of what it takes to run a district and the costs that go with it in personnel, outside of just our regular people.
And I think in the future, maybe it should be an agenda item.
I would like to see that.
I have a special request to ask Superintendent Sanchez if it would be possible for our CBO, Beth, to run an analysis for the board of the differential between the cost of hiring these 16 contracted individuals versus hiring experienced special ed staff who would take these positions, and see what the differential is. Is it 25% more we're paying? Is that something that I can request?
It is something that I can request of her, as you requested it of me, and then we will get back to the board. I think that there's a couple of things that I'd like to mention, because it is, you know, a topic that came up for discussion. So some of these positions do not exist in the district. So this year we will be negotiating with the particular unit that these positions may fall in. We've already made contact with the union leadership and labor rep to indicate that desire. We definitely, as I stated in the superintendent's report, always look to hire employees versus contractors. Another thing that I'd like to mention, and just really congratulate the district, I wasn't unfortunately part of it because I was not here last year, but the district and HESTA came to an agreement for a signing bonus for SLPs. This is the first time in a long time that we were able to attract SLPs to our district. Two, granted it was two, however it's two more than other districts are able to hire. And I would say that part of that attraction potentially could be the hiring bonus that was agreed to. As we go into negotiations, all of these conversations, all of these ideas, all of this collaboration is had through the negotiations process. And what I can assure you is that staff consistently are looking to hire, and we post these positions and they stay open while these contractors are in place. But one of the trustees, or several of you, said, if we don't provide these services, then we are out of compliance and then we spend money in litigation. That happens all the time when a district does not provide the services. So we are you know, in between a rock and a hard place. We would like to hire, and we're looking to hire. There is a refer a friend stipend in the HESTA contract. If anybody knows of somebody and they get hired, then that could apply. But until then, you know, we continuously work on these things.
Maybe we should up that stipend.
Potentially, yep,
For
potentially.
friends, that's good.
Mhm.
Okay, any more discussion?
No, she still had the M.
Oh, go ahead, with him, sorry.
All right, so I wanted to move on to M. These are the school parent compacts, and I read each one, and they're different but similar, but I wanted to call out one in particular that just really struck me as being exceptional. Something that I keep hearing about and keep reading about is the burnout effect teachers have regarding parents. You know, what they don't do, what they do, you know, and that sort of thing. And, you know, it really wears on your emotions. It makes you question your professionalism, your effect on students. But I wanted to highlight, and again, really, I just want it out there in public. R.O. Hardin, for example, I think had an exceptional narrative where they listed by bullet points the different expectations involved in the school parent compact. Especially, I want to note what the expectations are for at home. This list is very clear, and it's written in an active voice. So it's not just, you know, we expect, but here's how it is. The parents can help support student success in the following ways. Monitor your child's attendance at school, home learning, and media use. Become involved in developing, implementing, and revising the school's parent involvement policy. Have my child read every day. Attend learning nights at school to practice new ways to support my child. Check areas to review my child's homework assignments, check academic progress, and use the teacher's materials to support my child's learning at home. Communicate with my child's teachers about his or her progress and needs. Volunteer to support my child's classroom activities. Attend parent meetings to stay informed about my child's education. Read and respond to all notices from school. And I thought, you know, that is just, you know, it just highlights everything that we expect parents to do. And, you know, the other ones have, you know, the gist. I just really liked the bullet points. And I think that, and I found out that these will get sent to parents via Parent Square. And so I think that if a parent opens that up and they can just kind of see, you know, and it gives you just a list of things that as a teacher, you can talk to parents about at conference time, you know, those kinds of things. I thought it was very clear, very exceptional, and I just wanted to put it out there. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Okay, at this point, we do need a motion to approve F, G, H, I, J, K, M, O, P, and Q consent items. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call vote, trustee Tosti,
Aye.
trustee Rios,
Aye.
trustee Martinez,
Aye.
trustee Grist,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well, motion carries. Moving on to agenda item 14, approval of board meeting minutes, July 22nd, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion to approve the board meeting minutes of July 22nd, 2025.
I'll second.
Roll call vote, trustee Tosti,
Aye.
trustee Rios,
Aye.
trustee Martinez,
Aye.
trustee Grist,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. Moving on to agenda item 15, discussion of action items. Our first action item is A, Classified School Employees Association, Chapter 625, Successor Sunshine CSEA Proposal.
Okay, good evening, board. CSEA is not in the house. I can do this for them. Just want to wait a second or two. Oh, okay. The Classified School Employees Association, Chapter 625, is sunshining their successor sunshine proposal tonight for the years of 2025 through 2028. Our local union president is Adela Ruiz, and the union has identified Articles 2, Article 12, and Article 22 to open up and discuss with the district through the negotiations process. So the board would acknowledge the receipt of the successor sunshine tonight.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve agenda item 15A?
I make a motion that we approve the Classified School Employee Association, Chapter 625, Successor Sunshine CSEA Proposal for 25 through 2020.
I'll second.
Roll call vote, Trustee Tosti?
Aye.
Trustee Rios?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Grist?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Moving to item 15B, Hollister School District Successor Sunshine Proposal.
Okay, I have a comment. You wanna do the comment first?
Should we do discussion first? Let's do
No, then we do
discussion
the
first and then we'll do the
Okay.
comments. Okay. I lost my thought there.
I'm sorry, it's 15B.
15B. Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, the board. Good evening, board. For item 15B, the Hollister School District is sunshining the successor sunshine proposal to the classified unit, CSEA, Chapter 625 for the 2025 through 2028 school year. And we are opening up Article 12, compensation, and Article 13, health benefits. So I come before you tonight to ask for approval of this sunshine that would allow us to engage in negotiations with CSEA.
And you have some discussion or some agenda, people who want to speak?
Well, yeah, I do, I have one.
Okay.
So, Lisa, you wanna come up and speak?
I'm gonna yield my time to Rachel DeLisio.
Okay, you know, this says B and this says D.
Yes, we wanted B and D, but I didn't know if I could put in 2 comments.
Yes, you can.
For each individual item, yes, you
Yes,
can.
so we
Yeah.
you can't talk on D, we haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
You can talk about B.
B, okay,
For CSEA,
Yes.
okay.
okay.
So I can put my name on the card and be like, I just didn't know if we
Yeah, I
could.
think you're gonna have to
Okay.
afterwards. But
Okay,
go
okay.
ahead, you got me confused.
Sorry, yes. Should I speak now?
Yes, please.
Okay. We just wanted to say that HESTA stands with CSEA as they begin their negotiations with the district. HESTA and CSEA are symbiont unions. HESTA acknowledges that what happens to one union affects the other. HESTA stands with our sister union. A round of applause for CSEA. CSEA member. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any discussion from the board on 15B?
I make a motion that we approve the Hollister School District successor sunshine proposal for 2025 to 2028 to CSEA Chapter 625.
I'll second.
Okay, Trustee Tosti, roll call vote.
Aye.
Trustee Rios?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Gris?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Moving on now to 15C, Hollister Elementary School Teachers Association, HESTA, initial sunshine proposal for the 25-26 school year.
And we have with us tonight Ethan Cristobal, HESTA President, and Rachel DeMizio, HESTA Bargaining Chair.
Before we share with you the sunshine proposal, I just want to thank all of HESTA's members we've come back, we're only 4 weeks into school, and you guys have really rocked in making sure that you're filling out bargaining surveys, letting us know what the issues are that you care about, so that we can bring them to the table for you. And I want to thank you because it's not just the work of a few people, it's the work of all of us. And thank you for being here to show your support, and thank you for all the input you've given us so that we can make sure we get the contract that we deserve.
And our sunshine proposal just says that we would like to negotiate the entirety of the contract in anticipation of its expiration on June 30th, 2026. Thank you very much.
Any discussion from the board? Oh, yeah, I will acknowledge the receipt of it. Okay, and do we need a motion to approve C?
Yeah.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I dropped, yeah. Thank you.
Yes, for C or for D?
D.
Okay, we're on C. Okay, do I have a motion to approve 15C?
I make a motion that we approve item 15C.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Trustee Toasty?
Aye.
Trustee Rios?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Grist?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well, motion carries. Moving on now to 15D, Hollister School District Successor Sunshine Proposal for the 26-27 school year to Hollister Elementary School Teachers Association.
Yes, good evening. So tonight we present the Successor Sunshine proposal to our labor partners here, HESTA, and specifically the district looks forward to engaging in the negotiations process, and our focus and our we are opening these articles, Article 11, certificated salary, and Article 13, employee benefits. So I come before you tonight to ask the board to consider the approval of the sunshine so that we can engage in these conversations with HESTA.
Okay, before we,
Yeah, but somebody wants to speak.
yeah, I have, Rachel would like to discuss this.
I'm on the next item.
I only have,
Oh, I thought the next item is the board policy.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, 15D.
Okay, here I am, 15D.
It's been a long day.
Yes, it's been a day. Board of Trustees and Superintendent Sanchez, we thank you for your sunshine. It's given us an indication of your priorities in this next bargaining year. It's also deeply troubling to us. Your rationale for opening salary is that you want to appropriately compensate employees while maintaining a fiscally responsible and positively certified balanced budget. I wonder at your use of the word appropriately here. I wonder what that might mean to you. Historically, it has meant inching towards fair compensation, towards the compensation that teachers deserve, but always at a snail's pace. You connect appropriately compensating teachers with balancing the budget. Though not explicit, your meaning is clearer here. Paying teachers could be fiscally irresponsible. Teacher pay could prevent the positive certification of the budget. Your justification for opening employee benefits is similar. Premium costs are increasing, and your interest is in balancing the budget. It's not hard to read between the lines here. It appears that the belief is that teacher benefits could be jeopardizing the solubility of our budget. You might want us to take on more of the cost of really great benefits that attract and retain teachers and SLPs in this district. Making teachers pay more for benefits could thus not align with your goals of keeping teachers in the district. Here again, we see the same narrative as with salary. If teachers ask for a raise, or if teachers refuse to take on more of the cost of health benefits, the whole district will suffer because the budget won't be balanced. Though you've not said this outright, you have situated teacher compensation as antagonistic to the district's best interests, and because of that, we are deeply offended. This offense stems from the fact that you balance a budget every year, not in spite of teachers, but because of teachers. The district receives money every year from various sources to educate children, And who does that educating? Certificated and classified staff. Every dollar in our district counts was brought here because there is a teacher in a classroom working hard to make sure children learn. Educator labor is indispensable and is the most important asset this district has. That being said, come to us with your concerns. We are reasonable and we want the district to be solid financially. We acknowledge that premiums are increasing. This is a reality. Our members have offered many suggestions about how we might improve employee benefits. Let's come together collaboratively and in good faith to work toward equitable solutions that don't mean less compensation for your employees, certificated and classified alike. We also invite all board members to come to our bargaining sessions. We want you there. We want you to see both sides because it is only then that you can start to see a full picture of what is going on in your district. You need more information to make the best decision. We also ask respectfully for a permanent place on the board agenda so that we can have an open dialogue with you. Your employees feel anxiety and frustration because as a collective unit, the board doesn't communicate with HESTA. We need open channels between HESTA and the board to maintain a healthy and positive working environment. Additionally, there is nothing wrong with meeting with your constituents. A room full of constituents right here. As an elected official, this would be natural for you to do. HESTA leaders look forward to meeting with each board member. Thank you so much to Trustee Rios for meeting with us. Thank you so much for Trustee Grist for being open to meeting with us. We look forward to setting up an appointment soon. Trustee Toasty, Trustee Martinez, and Trustee O'Connor, please expect an email from Ethan Cristobal and myself asking for an audience. We want to express ourselves, of course, but we also want to hear from you. Finally, Board of Trustees, when you shut down communication with a HESTA leader like myself, no, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah. So I'm gonna get emotional too.
Get it, Rachel.
I know, I can.
You got it. You got it.
You do more than just shut out the union. I've invested 10 plus years of my life to this district. I usually don't do this. 9 as a teacher of record, 1 year as a sub, and 1.5 as a student teacher. I'm a longtime employee. I'm the parent of 2 children in this district. I'm also a voter with ties to this community. You can't shut the union out without also denying an audience to a teacher, a parent, and a community member.
Thank you very much. Do we have any discussion from the board members or Superintendent Sanchez on item 15B before we move on? Yes, we do. Okay, do I have a motion to approve item 15B? So moved. And a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote. Trustee Toasty?
Aye.
Trustee Rios? Aye. Trustee Martinez? Aye. Trustee Grist?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Motion carries. We're moving to item 15E, which is discussion and approval of board policy and administrative regulation updates with our CBO, Beth.
Thank you, board members. Shall I wait for the?
We're not done yet.
Good evening, board members. We bring to you, as we do every year, every month, not every year, a set of board policy and administrative regulation updates. As stated in the policy guide sheet, most of these are from CSBA. However, there are one policy and 2 regulations that are specific to the district itself. And so I will answer any questions the board might have on any of these.
On administrative reg, AR 3100,
Yes.
it talks about the superintendent or designee shall notify the county superintendent of schools of the location and dates of proposed budget, all this stuff, and I put to myself, well, how is this different than the LCAP?
Thank you.
Isn't that one and the same, or no? I guess
No, they're not. So they do happen at the same time, but the budget itself is specific to this here. And so we have for decades had to notify the superintendent of the county of when our board public hearing and adoption will be. Typically, what they have done in the past is they have done the general notice out to the public by putting an ad in the newspaper where they put all of the districts in the county. This is when their public hearing will be, this is when their adoption will be. The important thing on this administrative regulation is that those rules are changing and they'll no longer be done that way. And we'll be required to put it on a prominent place on our website.
Okay. Is this going to, because I think what we do with the LCAP is really important. I like the way, even though we don't get a big attendance, I think it's really important what we do.
It is, and that requirement hasn't changed by this. This is really, the particular wording on this is on page 2, where they're changing that public notification of the public hearing and the budget. And since those two go hand in hand, and we can't have a public hearing on the budget until we've had a public hearing on the LCAP.
Right.
And likewise, we can't approve the budget until we've approved the LCAP. That timing won't change at all.
Okay. All right, I think that's all I have. Anybody else?
Anybody else?
I had some questions, and thank you for answering the questions that I did submit.
Thank you for posing your questions ahead of time, so we're ready.
The board policy and administrative regulations 6158 regarding independent study.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, a few years ago, this was a huge issue for teachers, and almost to the point of being burdensome with all of the regulations of what they had to do and all of that. I am personally disappointed that we are not offering a long-term or full-time independent study for students. You know, I wonder, and I don't know if we can get the information about how many students and their ADA have we lost because the parents and students wanted a more independent kind of a program. We had a long-term or permanent program.
The RISE program?
During COVID and before.
Yeah.
And so I don't exactly recall or know why we stopped them. But I wonder if that's a way to recapture students and ADA and, you know, for us to really monitor their progress. So that's just one question that I had. And
so if I can answer that one in particular with this adjustment here. Back when we used to have the RISE program, the regulations were a little bit different than they are now. Right now, I would say that for a long-term independent study program, if you don't have a long-term independent study single teacher to handle at least 28 kids on any, you know, given year, because that's probably about the cap that we could give to that teacher. It's not going to be successful for the things that that teacher needs to do. There needs to be synchronous and asynchronous instruction. There needs to be instruction over the internet for wherever they happen to be for their long-term independent study. It's not the packet program that maybe we used to have once upon a time, and a lot of districts used to have. About 2 years ago, the regulations for independent study changed significantly, requiring that we have re-engagement strategies, that we do the synchronous and asynchronous instruction, that there's certain contact hours, that there's certain other things that we've never done for independent study before under a full-term basis that we're now required to do. And the district right now is not in any way prepared to do that. The other consideration in removing long-term independent study is maybe the feeling that elementary students are not independent learners on their own. Perhaps the high school can do that because those students are a little bit older. There are other reasons for them to have that independent study, but just using an example, a TK student on independent study is probably not a good thing. The other thing that we learned coming out of COVID is that isolation is also not a good thing for students. So the district has, at the cabinet level, had a lot of discussions about long-term independent study, everything that it would need and require for us to actually offer that, and what it would do for our students. And we are dealing every day, and there's always another article that's coming out in the news about where this particular age cohort is that was in kindergarten during COVID. The most recent one I saw is these are the students that were born during COVID, and now they're having to go into kindergarten. It's like they didn't know any different anyway.
Yeah.
But we're tracking, as a public, we're tracking those things. So with some great consideration, we've decided at this point we're not prepared to do that. We are barely prepared to make sure that we have enough teachers in classrooms for the students who are showing up. We still have the option for short-term independent study, which is required under the law, but that's 15 days or less. And that's usually the trick independent study, if you will. The early or late vacation kind of independent study. I don't want to lose, my placement in the classroom or lose my learning, but we still need to go as a family to X. So those things are still in place, but that long-term independent study is just not something that I think we're prepared to do right now.
Do we ever get to the point where we have 28 students in SARB does it get to that point that we have so many students? Because that would be the people that we would be talking about. So if we're not making it to account to the number of like 28, then the idea of trying to fulfill that need, I don't see how we could do
But
it.
even those kids are not recommended for long-term
Right,
independence.
yes, I agree. I'm
They would
with you.
not do
But
it.
how do we tell who needs the independent study would be the kids that are not having a hard time going to school.
Or parent
Usually.
inquiries. And I can tell you that in 3 years, we've had one parent inquiry, and that parent referred to board policy, which is an all-encompassing board policy directly from CSBA.
Right.
And so that's the only one that I'm aware of,
Well, I don't
because
know how
somebody
we
asked me,
track
how do we
it.
do that?
How would we track it? I don't know how.
Track what? The inquiries?
No, track who
The kids
wants.
that are leaving?
No, who wants long-term?
Yeah, I mean, what
How
if
would you even
we
track it?
offered it up as a question, hey, who out there, might be interested in having their child participate in an independent study program for the 26-27 school year? And I mean, if we get 3 people, then okay, that tells us something, but if we get 20 people, that tells us something a little bit different. And so I'm just wondering whether this could be something to
That we're possibly
Explore.
losing out on, yeah.
It could be something that we look at in the future. However, if
in
we
the
look
future.
at inquiring right now,
No.
what we would do would be to impact the working conditions of current certificated staff in the classrooms because of the ed code requirement for synchronous and asynchronous teaching to take place at the same time. So if I'm a 5th grade teacher at a school site and I'm teaching my in-person students, but I have a child that's on independent study, long-term wise, my teaching would also have to apply via virtual teaching. The TV and the camera, all of that stuff would need to be on, and that student, wherever they were at, would need to be learning, and I'd have to be keeping track of that learning in addition to the in-person learning as well. In my opinion, we'd have to build a solid foundation because
Right.
that changes the working condition of a staff member.
Right.
We'd have to look at if there are 20 students potentially that are interested in independent long-term studies,
Study.
what grade levels?
Right.
Right.
If they're the little itty bitties,
No.
they need to be on campus socializing. Research states that they need to be looking at how to share, how to become little students, right? If it's students that are in SARB, they're being starved for a reason. There's probably no parent support or family support that's able to be delivered at home, or there's some situation that's causing them to be starved. So we would want them to come up to school so that they can have interaction with positive adults. We can ensure that they have access to food and safe spaces and so on. So it would take, in my opinion, a process of more than a year. If the board asks us to negotiate those aspects, it would have to go through negotiations.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
oh, yeah.
It's almost like setting up a long-term homeschool program.
Oh, yes.
Well, and that's what I think about when, I hear, what about the TK kids and the socialization? There are, thousands of parents who do homeschooling, from the get-go to graduation. And so, there are ways to accomplish something that meets those needs. And, it's just something that, we don't have the full continuum available. Should a parent want it for their students? It was just a question that I had.
It's a very good question, and I can tell you that if we've received more than one inquiry that I'm aware of, over the course of even the last 2 years, it would be a different situation. If we had dozens of people saying, can I get, long-term independent study? And let's be clear on what long-term is. Long-term isn't 16 days,
No,
when short-term is 15 days. Long-term is typically a trimester, semester, or year,
right.
okay?
Well, we would
And
be
you-
thinking year.
Exactly, and I think that's got the best continuum of
Right.
teaching that's available. It's not a whim selection.
No.
It's not your 15 days doesn't work for me, but I need 20 days. That's not long-term independent study. Long-term independent study is a program with a curriculum by grade level for the needs of those students. And sometimes those teachers are teaching multiple grade levels. They might have one 5th grader, one 4th grader, and one 6th grader. Okay, it's not like a combo class where you may have a bunch of them in there. So it is very different from what we're doing. And before we went there, of course, as the superintendent said, there's a lot of discussion that needs to happen. So by removing it right now, we remove that question and we make it very clear that right now, this is the only thing that the board has set policy on and offering. So that's really what we're asking you to do as you're looking at this this evening, is to make a determination by an adoption for these edits that this is the only offering that we have at this moment.
But I think that there are comments that are in here that are not edited out, that still seem to refer to a long-term situation. And so that's where some of my confusion reading this was, and I want to make sure that we have something that is on our website that the public and teachers can refer to, where they know, very specifically, there's nothing vague about it. And so can any of the language be more specific and say, in a long-term situation, so that that's delineated out? Because there does seem to be language in here that would only pertain.
Yeah, but this comes from
CSBA.
CSBA, it's not our language.
But it's a district adoption, it's a
Right,
district
right.
Policy.
It can,
Right.
it can be tweaked to
It
where.
can absolutely
Yeah.
be tweaked
Yeah.
because we're
That's
tweaking it now.
That's what I'm wondering, if it
Okay.
could be tweaked to be more specific, and where there is language, like when it talks about an evaluation shall be conducted, looking at a student's progress during the independent study time. That really is about the long term, not a short term.
Not the 15 days.
It could be either way, and I believe that in my response to you, I talked about the evaluation of progress in a long-term situation versus a short-term situation, and the evaluation of progress in a short-term situation is the teacher actually receiving the work back, grading it, deciding whether or not appropriate effort was put in, where the student ended up, and that is an evaluation when a grade is given by a teacher. That is solely the the purview of the teacher, where in the long-term situation, the evaluation of the progress ends up falling into some of that stricken language that says talking about re-engagement strategies and how we look at the progress of a long-term student. So that's why some of that stuff wasn't taken out, because it's sort of a dual meaning. It's not like we're not open to suggestions, and I'm hearing that you're not quite comfortable with it tonight, so I might make a suggestion that if you're comfortable with the rest of them, you do all those, and then you do a second reading on this one, and we take some input from all board members on this one for additional edits that you might want.
I think that I would be more comfortable with that.
Okay, we're fine with that. It's your board policy, we make
Right.
suggestions. And even though waiving second reading is a suggestion if you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable, then that's when we need to get more input from you, make whatever changes the board as a whole would like to see, and then we bring it back for adoption.
What number is it, Cheryl?
This is, 6158 is the very last one listed.
It's the one with all the red.
Cause just like, you know, the one example that I was starting to read, an evaluation shall be conducted to determine whether it's in the student's best interest to remain in independent study. And so if they're out for 5 days, I have no idea as a teacher.
Nope, you're not gonna know until they return.
Right.
See, that
Yes,
is-
so
that's a good point.
language like that,
Yeah.
and then, you know, I'd like to, there's a mention in here about not approving a student for independent study, and I think that, one of your responses back to me was that's more for the long term.
And actually, there isn't, because we've had some kids that were not approved because they did not, the previous year that they went on short-term independent study did not complete the work. And so that became like board policy to where you had to set conditions, right?
And I think I'd like to really see that.
Make that a little bit firmer in there, because that is always something that the administrator, right, the teacher and the administrator right now can say. One of the things that they're required to do is approve that contract. A teacher can say, this student is not a good fit for independent study. What does that mean? Well, the student's gone, he's absent. It's unfortunate, but he's absent. But he's not good for independent study. The administrator could do the same thing. And then in the middle of that are students with IEPs, where that's really not a good setting for all students with IEPs. So that evaluation on whether or not a student is approved for independent study can and does happen at the school site. It's not a given that you apply for short-term independent study and you get it.
But this is where, you know, when the rubber hits the road. It's because, okay, let's say I'm an 8th grade teacher, and in 7th grade, Johnny did a long-term contract or short-term contract, and Johnny didn't do anything. But there's a lot of maturity that happens between 7th and 8th grade, physically and emotionally. And now I have Johnny, I didn't know what happened in 7th grade. I have no idea. And I won't know. And so here comes Johnny to me, and if we have that rule that they didn't, first off, I wouldn't know. Who's gonna tell me that he didn't do his short term? So I wouldn't know, so it's unenforceable. And secondly, what if he did it, because kids change, they grow up.
For sure, and well, I'm not saying it's a rule that if they didn't do it last year, you can't do it this year. I'm just saying that there's always an option for the teacher and or the administrator to determine if that's the best placement for the student. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
And the policy, has that ability in there for the teacher and the administrator to make that determination for the student.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to point out that that also allows the site administrator to consider the lead time. So there's a specific number of days that a family must come to the school site to request the packet, the independent study work as we provide it now. The reason that we upped the days in the last handful of years was to allow for teaching staff to have enough time to gather the materials. So an example of when a contract would be denied would be if I as a mother go into the school site and say I need a independent study contract for 14 days but I need it tomorrow. That is not enough time for our teaching staff to create that work and gather up all of those materials. That would be denied. So that is an example of when a contract is denied.
But I have to tell you something, as a teacher, and it didn't matter if I was teaching language arts or if I was teaching history, I put together plans that kids could take, and did not need a textbook, because if they had to go down to Mexico or whatever, because of a funeral, whatever, cause some of those things happen right away. So I always had something that they could take and they could do. And that's why, to me, I think that we as educators should have pre-planned things for kids that are general enough that can be done in your subject area. Everybody can read, okay? And why can't it be reading to something, whether it's history or language arts or science, and do math? I mean, to me, I don't understand why we're not pre-prepared. That we are ready for our kids, because stuff happens. People, funerals happen, people get sick, and then we're gonna penalize them because we didn't give 7 days notice? That's not fair to the kids.
I think the teachers are so concerned about giving that student the curriculum, the papers that they need to keep up with the rest of the students.
That is
I
one
mean,
of the requirements, is to get the same rigors they have.
yes, it takes a while to get that together. I remember, working at the school site, and it's very important. They can't get that within a day's notice.
As someone who has been around the block a lot of times, if kids are reading, they're learning. If kids are writing, they're learning. And I'm sorry, that's just,
I think, Jan,
sorry.
I started teaching a long time ago, and I would always put together my independent study packets.
Thank you.
Because I knew that it was gonna happen, somebody was gonna leave, and I wanted to have them ready, because it's hard to put together really quickly.
That's right.
But then the ed code changed, and the audits happened, and then we're discovering that the packets that we put together weren't rigorous enough, and then we didn't get the ADA for them.
That's what ended up happening a couple of years ago in the RISE program.
Right. So we have to be careful that we give them
No,
what is, in the curriculum that's happening at that time.
Right.
Frankly,
In the audits, those are audible,
Yes.
you know, so.
I was lucky enough to have workbooks from the textbook that we had.
Back in the
so-
day.
Yep.
Okay, back on track. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, so, the other one was the travel expenses, and I know, it's come up in the past, just the meals. And I don't know how long ago we've looked at that, but people that go to conferences, I know the meals, the range, the per diem that we have is really low. And I don't know when the last time we looked at that to see.
Well, it's been up.
Last Friday, and
Yeah.
it's been upgraded.
To
That's what you're seeing
$23.
tonight.
Well, because everything is so
Everything.
expensive
And
now.
it's the same source, so
Okay.
all I did was go out there, since we were making some adjustments here, I went out there and I updated it, so yes, it has been updated. Thank you very much for asking. It's not today's, but it's like this year's per diem.
Okay.
Federal per diem for the San Francisco area, for the General Services Administration, meals and incidental expenses for the San Francisco area. So
Thank
yes,
you.
it is up to date. It went up by a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Well, actually, it went up quite a bit because it was, wasn't it $18 for breakfast? Now it's 23.
Yeah.
And oatmeal and a cup of coffee
I
is
know,
more.
it was pretty sad.
And I'm sorry, when I
Terrorists are making
changed
it
the chart
worse.
there, it wiped out the old stuff, so I apologize for
Yeah.
that, but it is the up-to-date information.
Okay.
Okay, do I have any more discussion before we make a motion here on E? Okay, so it sounds like we want to have a motion to approve 15E with the exception of a second reading on 6158.
That's right.
Is that correct? Okay, can somebody please make a motion to that
You
effect?
just did.
I just,
You can make motions.
I can make
too.
motions?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Nobody told me.
So you just made the motion,
I just
I'll
made
second
it.
it.
Thank you. Okay, roll call vote. Trustee Toasty.
Aye.
Trustee Rios.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
And trustee Grist.
I,
And I'm an aye as well. Motion carries. Let's move to 16. Do we have any board member reports?
If
Trustee
you would
Toster.
kindly communicate with the superintendent individually if you think that there are things that need to be done on that board policy, we will bring it back to the next
Okay.
board agenda with the compilation of your edits.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, any board member reports? We'll start with trustee Toasty. I can't talk today. I don't know why.
Yes, I was able to attend 2 back-to-school nights, Sunny Slope and Lad Lane. It was a very brief visit to Lad Lane, so I did promise I was going to go back for a little bit longer visit. And I got a really detailed showing of Sunny Slope School. It was amazing. It was detailed, went through every classroom that had been redone. There were so many parents and students there. The kids were all playing. The parents were in with the teachers. The teachers were so receptive and nice. I met quite a few teachers. The last time I visited Sunny Slope, it was on a tour of the 3 classrooms that were used as storage. And when we went through that, there was an actual a path through all 3 classrooms, and that's all. It was a path. And I know Aaron
and team
and the guys and Kip, and they all worked on that, cleaned that out. I was absolutely shocked.
Pretty amazing.
Joe is so proud, and he mentioned Martine, the excellent job that he did on everything in those classrooms are really big. The teachers are so happy in those 3 classrooms because they are very large.
They are.
And even the windows, she said she was so happy that he was able to get up there and uncrack those windows that could be opened for extra ventilation. It was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the team did a fantastic job. They put a lot of effort into that from the beginning to the end. So yes, thank you.
And also, Joe also mentioned and showed me the old office, where the office used to be.
Oh, yeah.
And they put an additional entryway in there. It's really nice. Good job, Mary. And the guys, please
Yes.
tell the guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, trustee Rios.
I also went to 2 of the open houses, back to school nights. I went to Sunny Slope and I went to Rancho Santana. At Sunny Slope, it was, Joe has a lot of enthusiasm for his staff, his students, and his school. And I got to look into a couple of the new TK classes, and the furniture is meant for Barbie dolls. It is so tiny, so tiny. And it was interesting to hear him talk about how he has a campus monitor posted at the designated TK only bathrooms all day long, so that a teacher just across the way, and it's a big playground that they have to walk. It must seem like 10 miles to those little legs.
yeah.
But, a teacher can release a student and they go, hello, here comes one. And there's a campus monitor there to welcome them, say, okay, go in there. But I thought that was really good. He desperately, I told him I had his back on this, he needs his PA system fixed.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Could not understand a syllable he said over the outside speaker. He said there's a part that he was waiting for and thought that it was coming, and so hopefully it's in very soon anyway. I was surprised to find out Sunny Slope is home now this year to 7 special day classes. That is such a huge amount. I think that they are mild to moderate as well as moderate to severe. And so the caseload for those special ed folks, and probably 95% of them have speech on their IEPs. So that's just a big population. It was just something, again, it is what it is. Rancho Santana, it was the first time I'd ever stepped foot on campus. I did not participate a couple years ago when they opened and had those open houses and so forth. So it's a beautiful campus, hotter than just about anything that particular day because of the sun coming in from the west. But anyway, it was very, very hot, and the teachers were all the teachers that I saw, Sunny Slope and at Rancho Santana, were just so enthusiastic. They knew their curriculum, they knew their schedule, and they communicated really well with the parents. All the rooms were so inviting. The one surprise that I saw, one of the special day classes there has TK through 4th grade. And I'm thinking, how, and she had the names or pictures by each grade, and there were 2 in this grade, 3 in that grade, 1 in this grade, 2 more over here, whatever it was. And I thought, that has got to be the worst situation that I can imagine, no matter what their levels are. You've got big bodies with teeny bodies and that sort of thing. So I'm hoping that we can really give that teacher and her staff all the support that she asks for, because we still have to have those students make progress. And I could not conceive of how that would really look. Anissa invited me to go over and walk the campus with her and see it in action. She's very proud of the inclusion that's going on over there, and so I definitely in the next few weeks hopefully will be able to go over there. But it was a joy to go to the schools, and just like I have no doubt every single school would knock my socks off.
Thank you. Trustee Martinez?
Nothing to report.
Nothing to report. Trustee Grist?
Well, first I spent the lunch hour on August 4th at Rancho San Justo when they had the professional development day. And boy, there were some real happy campers there. Everybody seemed to be very full of life and happy to be there, and lots of laughing and fun. The food was great, and the people didn't have to wait long for their food. I mean, it was real quick service, and everybody just had a very, happy outlook about what's coming up. And then the day before school started, I had the pleasure of going with Erica and Aaron, and we looked at the new bathrooms that were put together. We went to Calaveras, Sunny Slope, and HGLA. So we looked at the remodeled bathrooms. We looked at the rooms at Sunny Slope that Cheryl mentioned that are just awesome. But the schools looked great. They just really, really looked like they were ready, and the teachers were all doing their thing, they're working around, and it was just fun there were some parents there that, oh, hi, Mrs. Grist, that I taught years ago, and then former, some were classified, some were certificated. It was just a fun day, and the tremendous work that Aaron's department has done to get these schools ready has just been great. And it's been, I know that they've got a lot to do, but they've done a great, great job. And then we had our thing that we met all day, all of us met, which I thought was one of our most proactive and productive. I felt very good afterwards. I don't know why. I just felt good about it. So, I think we've had a pretty busy time.
We have. That's what I was gonna talk about. I enjoyed our goal-setting session with our consultant, Jackie, and spending the day with the board and with our superintendent, talking about our dreams and our visions. And it was really good. I
Yeah.
really, really enjoyed the day, and I just appreciate the way that this board and the superintendent loves the staff and loves the students and the parents, and
Yeah.
really wants the best for everybody. And it's
Yeah.
just, it's really, it does my heart good. Having lived in Hollister forever, to see a board operating like this is just wonderful.
You know, I want to say one thing that is that I would like all of our staff and everybody to think of this year as not half empty but half full in our glass. That we are trying to do our best, but we are hitting headwinds, you know, from what's coming from Washington. These headwinds are coming at us. And they're coming at you. We don't know what's going to happen. We get the headlines when you get the headlines. So we're dealing with the headwinds. We're dealing with headwinds from our state because of the interaction between our governor and the president. So we got those headlines coming at us. Just know in our hearts, we want the best for our children and for our staff. And for our parents, because that's why we're here. We make $33.33 a month. Okay? Give me a break, guys. All right, we're not doing it for the pay. So we're here because we want to do the best we can. But we also have to keep the lights on. So, you know, that's the yin and yang of everything. So please don't think that, you know, we have this sword that is double-edged. And on one edge is we've got to be solvent, and the other edge is we need to treat our children and our staff and our parents with all the respect that they deserve. And that includes money.
Thank
But,
you, Janet.
you know, it is, that's the way it is.
Okay, let's move on to item 17, future agenda items. Does anybody have any future agenda items?
No, I crossed one out.
You crossed yours out? Okay.
So
Trustee Martinez.
I wasn't sure if we have defibrillators on every campus.
Yes.
We do?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Some have
people-
two, I believe.
And specific people are trained? or-
Specific people are trained, yes.
Clerks are.
Okay.
And we have
the campus monitor
And
is.
campus monitors?
Mhm.
Awesome. Only because, you know, the recent incident at the high school and the training with the defibrillators was, in that situation, a life-saving measure. And I think it's very critical that, you know, they're placed in good locations. I don't know, you know, assessing where they are and, you know, quick accessibility, because again, that is what made the difference in this situation. And I just wanted to make sure, you know, we touched on that and see where we were, because I wasn't sure what our policy was, or if we had them and how many and who's trained.
We have at least one at each school site. Some, the bigger sites sometimes have two or more. We also have them easily accessible for the health clerk staff, you know, in the front office, with where the administrators are, or where potentially where the school nurses check in. Here at the district office, we have one through the main corridor that's easily accessible on the wall. They're mounted to the wall.
Okay, thank you. Any other agenda items? Okay, let's move on to 18, announcements or reminders. Nothing? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in
Second.
favor?
All in favor. Aye.